The following is, I'm going to give you 2 points. The 2 points, in coordinate geometry you have 4 quadrants, okay? And this is just your x, y axis, okay? So you have like 1, 2, 3, and you have -1, -2, -3, and then you have your y axis, and then you have your x axis, okay? I'll give you 2 points, okay? The first point I'll give you will be this point, yeah, we'll go for this one here, okay? So we'll go for the point -2, 2, and then we'll go for the point 3, -1. Now, they can ask you certain things about this line, okay? They can ask you what is the length of this line between the 2 points. Now, it'd be handy if we actually drew the 2 points going into each other. There we go. They can ask me the length of this line. They can ask me the slope, okay? Now, we'll start off with the length, okay? The length formula is this one here. Now, the first thing you need to remember is, it doesn't matter which one I call x1, y1, or which one I call x2, y2. Alright? But the one thing that always has to be the same is that once you decide one of them is your first point, that it's x1 and y1. You're not allowed to have x1, x2 in the 1 point. Because the left side is x values, the right side is y values, right? That goes without saying. So all you do is to find the distance of this, you just fill in your formula. If you have a negative number, please make sure you put it in brackets. So for instance, 3 minus, open another bracket, -2, close another bracket, squared, plus y2 -1 -2 squared. You're just going to put that straight into the calculator. Some of you can be quick with the calculations for me, it'll speed everything up. Okay, so it's going to be 3 times, that's going to be 5 squared, which is going to be 25, plus -3 squared. Okay, and you're going to get root 34. Is that right? Root 34, or if you want to change into decimals, 5.83. Okay, that is your distance done. That's your distance formula. The next one I'm going to do is going to find the midpoint. The midpoint is not m, by the way. Slope, for some reason, is m. Okay, midpoint is simply called midpoint. There's no short letter for it. Okay, so to get the midpoint, what we do is we add x1 plus x2, we divide it by 2. We get y1 plus y2, we also divide it by 2. So the 2 points are 3 minus 1, and the other one was -2, 2. x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's just a matter of filling it in. Okay? So we're going to get -2 plus 3 divided by 2. Excuse me. 2 plus -1 divided by 2, and what we're going to get is a half and a half. A half. Now let's see if that makes sense, okay? We go back up here, and a half is actually in here. Does that roughly look like the midpoint?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, it's the midpoint. If I was to draw that really accurately on a diagram, you'd actually see it. Okay? Next step, slope. Now, there's some things you need to know about slope, okay? You're probably meant to know this already from leaving cert or junior cert, sorry, junior cert. Now, I'm going to draw some lines here, okay? I'm going to start off easy, okay? I'm going to write down 3 slopes. This is line A, B, and C. And here's my 3 slopes I'm going to write down. C equals a half. Sorry, I gave you spoilers. One of the slopes is a half, one of the slopes is 3/4, and one of the slopes is, let's call it 67 out of 68. Which one is a half? C. Which one's B? 3/4. And which one is A? The steeper the slope, are you listening? The steeper the slope, the higher it goes up. So it's like skiing, alright? If you're sorry, it's like, we'll call it hill walking because we look like we're going up the hill at the moment, right? So if you're walking up this hill, it's rise over run. Slope is written as rise over run. What a slope of a half means is for every 2 meters you go across, you go up 1. So this will be me going across 2 meters and up 1. We can see that B is a bit heavier on the legs. So this means for every 4 meters we go across, we go up 3. It's a steeper slope. And finally, the last one is nearly straight. Like it's really heavy angle. Okay, so it's going to be what is it, 60, for every 68 meters we go up 67. That's nearly like every one you go across, you go up one. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, yes, is we're going to do other ones, okay? I'm going to go across this way in dotted lines. Okay, we're going to have okay guys, there's 3 dotted lines and we're still not speaking, please. E, F and G. Now, what you know is about E, F and G compared to A, B and C? Opposite directions. These slopes are negative. Okay, they're negative slopes. Okay, so first of all, you're going to go, I'm going to write down a couple of slopes here, right? So minus 37 over 38. The other one can be minus 6/3. Actually, oddly enough, 6/8 is the same as 3/4. And then the other one's going to be minus a half. Lads, match up which one is which. Which one's E? Minus a half, because it's like skiing. Instead of climbing, you're skiing down the slope. So easy slope in skiing is a lower number, a lower fraction. This one's E, this one's F, and finally the steepest one, G. Is that alright? Now, okay guys, next thing. You can also use, excuse me, we can also use the slope formula. Okay. This one here, okay, we're doing the slope formula, okay, and it's y2 minus y1, which is going to be minus 1 divided by minus 1 minus 2. That's y1 minus y2, x2 minus x1. And we're going to find that the slope of this line is minus 3/5. Is that what we're expecting? Because it's going downwards. It's a negative slope as opposed to a positive slope. Now guys, the next thing you need to know is, how do I get, okay, just quiet for a sec lads, right? The next thing you're going to need to know is, how do I find out a line that is how do I find out the equation of a line? Okay? Equation of a line is y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Okay? Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to fill in, you can use either of the 2 points that's on the line. We're going to use 2 and minus 2. Sorry, minus 2, 2. So it's going to be y minus 2 equals m is minus 3/5. And then it's going to be x minus minus 2. What's minus minus 2? Plus 2, okay, so you can just get rid of that and put in a plus 2, okay, x plus 2. Now guys, the fraction here, this means multiply everything in the bracket by minus 3, then once you're done doing that, you divide it by 5. You can do this two ways, alright? The first way you can do it is like this, multiply it by minus 3, and you get this, and the 5 is still there. And then you can simply cross multiply the 5. Or you could have just cross multiplied the 5 in the first place, which would make it the whole thing a bit quicker, okay? So what we're going to get here is 5y minus 10 equals minus 3x minus 6. Bring everything to one side, we'll get 3x plus 5y. Bring the 6 over the other side, comes plus 6. We're going to get minus 4 equals 0. That is the equation of a line. Now, what I'm going to ask you next is, I'm going to ask you to get me a line that is 90 degrees to this line and goes through the point 3 minus 1. It's perpendicular. Now, the rule is, if you know the slope of the filled in black line or the full black line, what is the slope of the perpendicular line, can you tell me? Turn it upside down, change the sign. So the slope of the next one has to be 5/3. Okay? And what we also know as well is, we also know that the one of the points it goes through has to be 3 minus 1. So then in turn you can use the equation of the line formula. Okay? and you get y minus y1. y1 is going to be 3 this time, or sorry, minus 1. So it's going to be minus 1, which is plus 1. And then it's going to be 5 over 3 times x minus 3. You're going to cross multiply the 3, and then you're going to multiply by 5. So you're going to get 3y plus 3 equals 5x minus 15. You can bring the 3y and the 3 over this side this time, and you get 5x minus 3y minus 18, and that's basically your equation of a line. Am I right in saying that is pretty much the full gist of okay guys, what we're doing next is we're going to show you how to go about drawing a line, okay? Now, to draw a line, we might just take the equation we got last time, okay? Actually, no, that's a bad one. We'll do another one here. Trying to think of one off the top of my head. Okay. 3x minus 2y plus 6 equals 0. The ideal way of doing this is to find out, sorry, before I do that, when it has a number at the end, when it has an x, a y, and a number, that means it doesn't go through 0, 0. Okay? That's guaranteed that it doesn't go through 0, 0. Okay? So what you have to do is, to find out where it cuts the x-axis, you have to put y equal to 0. Y equals 0. You put y equals 0, then you're left with 3x plus 6 equals 0. X therefore, 3x is therefore minus 6, x equals minus 2. It crosses at minus 2, 0. Okay, the next thing you gotta do is put x equals to 0, yeah? And when x equals 0, what's gonna happen is, when x equals 0, it's gonna be minus 2y plus 6 equals 0, 2y equals 6, y equals 3. That's going to be the point 0, 3. Now what happens here is, guys, we have this line here, and as we can see, it's a positive slope, and it's going upwards, okay? And that's our line drawn. Now imagine I did this, I rubbed that out, okay? And it's a completely different line now, okay? It actually has the same slope as the last line, but it's where it crosses the axis is completely different, okay? So what's going to happen here, lads, is the following, okay? We did what we do last time. We put in x equals 0 to find out where, y equals 0 to find out where it crosses the x-axis. And what happens is we end up getting 3x equals 0, therefore x equals 0, and we're like, alright, that's 0, 0. So the way I got the second point last time no longer works. So what we can do instead is the following. We just pick a number. Pick a number at random. Now what I usually do is I'll multiply whatever number comes in front of both of these. And what number goes in front of both of these? 6, okay? I'll look at 6 and go, okay, if I replace one of these with 6, I'm pretty sure I'll get an even number out of this. Okay? So what I can do is, let's say 3x and let y equal 6, okay? And then you get 2 times 6 equals 0. Oh, it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter for getting the point, alright? So we get 3x minus 12 equals 0. Bring the 12 over to the other side. 3x equals 12, x equals 4. This means that the point x equals 4 and x equals 4, y equals 6 is on the graph. And when we draw this, it should be more or less parallel to the line that came before it. Okay? So there is a backup to that again. Okay? If we rearrange y to be on its own, we could do something like this where we can say, okay, let y be on its own, so we'll end up getting 2y equals 3x, and then divide y, so it's 3 over 2x. Then you can use your f of x function if you want. You can go to your tables, and you've done this before, and you can say f of x means y, and you can say that's 3 over 2x, okay? And you can just put in any starting range you want. Let's say minus 1. Just pick anything you want, really, once it's close to the 0 mark. And you'll see right now, oh sorry, I wanted 4 in there as well, so just go back again. Because we got 4. Would you stop with the drumming, please? Okay, so look at this, guys. the point 0, 0 is on our line, isn't it? And what are we expecting when we go down to 4? 4 and 6. So that's another way of getting the points you need, okay? Okay.